But then I feel over the years that it got a bit trashy. I certainly can speak for myself. You go to sticky nightclubs and you would see Christian Louboutin shoes everywhere. Hey everyone, 9 of the most outdated items, and I would love it if in the comments you can share your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I got thinking about this because as I was cleaning out my wardrobe, I had loads of stuff in it and I thought I haven't worn that in years because for whatever reason it feels dated. And I'm talking about Chanel earrings, the Gucci Marmont belt, Christian Louboutin. I've got loads of things in here and I would love to get your feedback on it. Before I do, and I keep mentioning this because the code still works, and I don't know how many of you might miss videos and so you don't hear about this, but Farfetch have given me another coupon code. Disregard the videos that I've done over the last few weeks because the coupon has changed. It is now this is the new coupon code. There was a previous one which doesn't work anymore. This one only works until the 1st of October though, and it works on loads of stuff like the Balenciaga hourglass bag, which I love. It works on all Balenciaga, so like the jumpers that have got Balenciaga written all over them, Givenchy, the Balmain blazers, everything Balmain it works on, Off-White. I want to say it pretty much works on everything on there except for brands like Fendi and Gucci. So and it works for existing accounts, so if you're already a customer, add a load of stuff to your shopping cart, try the coupon and see what it works on. Onto this topic. The first brand which to me has had its day, and I don't know whether it's ever going to come back again, and I actually feel quite sad about this, is Christian Louboutin. I used to be a massive fan. I don't know how many of you have been with me for like a long time, but some of you might remember that all the way back in 2015 I used to do loads of, I think they're still live actually, I used to do loads of Christian Louboutin collection videos because I had this massive collection of shoes that I actually wore and I loved them, but then I started to fall out of love with them, and not so much the style, although the style in some cases, but actually the red bottom. And you don't see it so much on social media now. You don't see Christian Louboutin as much as you used to. I haven't seen it in a long time actually, and I have noticed that the brand has created, or they're coming out with shoes that are a lot more wearable. So if we go back say 10 years, have a look at these shoes. How many of you remember these? It was with that brand, and it still very much is. It was like how high can you get the heel, how much of a platform can you get? And 10 years ago these were my maybe not this style, but Christian Louboutin was my go-to. I didn't own any, but it's what I was after. And then over the years, I feel like 5 years ago is when it started to die down. Why this could be, these are just my personal thoughts. I think that at one point they were associated with like luxury and being a bit flash with it. I feel that the red sole, I certainly can speak for myself. You go to sticky nightclubs and you would see Christian Louboutin shoes everywhere. And I don't know why, I feel as though that's done something to the brand. I still like the brand, and I do like a lot of the shoes they're coming out with that are practical. So they've got, like I've got some boots that are flat boots. They look like riding boots, but they've got the red sole, but it's quite understated, and they're a really comfortable, really nice boot. And so I do feel that they're trying to change it around by, in addition to creating their quite garish styles, their quite loud styles, they're trying to come out with items that are more practical, toned down. I think that's the word, toned down. Second up, it's Chanel earrings. I don't know how many of you would agree or disagree with me on this, but a bit like with Christian Louboutin, if you go back 10 years, the uniform was a massively oversized hobo bag that was designer of some description, a pair of Christian Louboutin heels and Chanel double C earrings. But as the years have gone on, probably 5 years ago, again, I actually still do have quite a big collection of Chanel double C earrings, and I used to buy them back when they weren't the price that they are now. In my last video I explained that a lot of the Chanel earrings are £500 plus, some of them are like £1,000 and a bit more, and for that money you can actually get genuine diamond studs, you can get genuine pearl studs. You can get things that are more of an heirloom, have got an intrinsic value to them. Stones aren't going to fall out, and they're better quality. They're not costume jewellery. And I do see on social media, I see less people wearing the double C earrings. They are still out there. And I do think that when it comes to double Cs and the earrings, a lot more people are finding the vintage stuff more cool. Somehow that works. But I think as the prices have gone up, and as how do I describe it? It's almost like that connotation where they used to look really chic and now they look a bit, I don't know how to describe it. Not elegant the way they once were, and that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. This whole video is just my opinion, okay? So let me know what you think in the comments, but that's just my thoughts. Okay, so the next one breaks my heart a bit because it's something that I love, and I can't see myself, actually, if it ever does get outdated, which it probably will at some point, can't see myself ever not wearing it. And I've got a bit of an insider piece of information as well here, and it's not only this shape of bag, so this is the 30 Montaigne, but crucially it's actually the oblique pattern. First of all, the 30 Montaigne, this launched back in, I think, 2019. This was really hot at the time, as you would expect, because it's a brand new bag out and they were pushing it all over social media, and so you'd understand that it was really popular. But it's a bag that I see a lot less now when I go into boutiques, and whenever Dior start doing that, you know it's something that's on its way out a bit. I still love this bag, and I can still see myself using it because it's quite a classic shape and it's got the flap and what have you. But here's the piece of information I've been given about the oblique, that they are planning to move away from the oblique, and instead they are going to focus on the canage pattern. And this is the canage pattern where you've got the stitching and you've got the diamond kind of square quilting, and that more items, more bags, more clothing is going to have that design on it as opposed to the oblique. So not outdated yet, and I hope it never will be because I love the oblique. But what do you think? That's the information I've been given. I'm kind of quite surprised about it because this is like a really popular print. But as I say, I think this is something that if it ever goes out of style, if it ever dates, this is one thing. Don't quote me on that because I might change my mind in the future. But this is one thing that I can see myself still using and still enjoying. These Bottega heels, I feel like these are very outdated now. This, to me, is a really classic example of something that something that was social media trend-driven popular, as opposed to classic long term. Sometimes you get new products that come out that are pushed by these brands on social media, and then you get social media influencers who aren't promoted by the brand or anything, they're not affiliated with the brand, but they then catch on too, and then they're promoting them. And sometimes you get items that stick, you get items that get promoted and get pushed, and then they start becoming classics, they start becoming long term. With these shoes, I feel that it had the opposite impact, and I'm someone who gets dragged into trends myself. I really try and fight it, and I will say that generally speaking, like in the bag collection, which I showed you a few videos ago, of my bags that are more on the expensive end of the line, I feel as though I have got more classics in ratio terms to trend bags. I think trend bags wise, I've probably got like 20% of my bags are trend bags, maybe even 10%. The rest, when I look at it, are long term. They're like Lady Dior's and Chanel flap bags and things like that. Bags that I'm so glad I bought back in the day when they weren't the prices they are now. Do you know Dior, Lady Dior in the smallest size used to be, I think, 3,200 or 3,400, and it now comes in this gorgeous plum colour with champagne hardware, and I was looking at it and it's now £4,000. I can't do it. For me, I love that bag. If you were thinking about getting that as a first bag or a second bag and you've got the money, definitely do it. It's a good bag, but I can't bring myself to do it. 4K is so much. The next is the Gucci Marmont belt. This was big at the end of 2016, at the same time as this bag, which was, I think this was the Gucci Blooms bag, and you could get it with either blue blossoms or pale pink. And I was really tempted to buy, there was a bag that came out with it, and it was like, the design was painted on, it was really pretty. And I was tempted to do it, but because of this thing where I hate buying trend items, because then you're left with something that doesn't really look that cool when you wear it. And when I talk about that, I'm not saying that I am like, oh no, it's old now, I'm not going to use it anymore. It's not that at all. It's that sometimes when things are discontinued, they date really badly, and you can end up with something that it's got nothing to do with whether you like it or not. It's just hard to wear with an outfit. Like I've got a Louis Vuitton, you know, the white Murakami print where it's multicolored. I've got that bag and it's impossible to do anything with, so I don't use it, and it's that situation. This belt, however, this came out, it was super popular. I was really tempted by it, and I remember I left it a year before I got it. The belt came out and I thought I'm gonna leave it a year. In the end I did get it, and although I personally feel like this is very 2016, it's very a few years ago now, I feel like it's had its day. Maybe even this style of logo, I'm not sure, but definitely the belt. However, I still use it and I wear it a lot, because can you see there how it's kind of gone inwards like that? And you know, it's from the loop on the back of your jeans. I feel as though this is a belt I can keep digging out. I've got other belts that I don't want that to happen with. And I probably shouldn't have bought the belts, because I'm probably never going to wear them, because I don't want that to happen to them. But yeah, I think it's out of date. But again, I'm not too worried about it, but it is something that I think has had its day. Baker boy hats. They were a big thing, weren't they? The Baker boy hat trend. Guess what? I bought one. And this, I don't know how many of you remember this. This is from Dior, and it's the one that's got the netting all over it. It's actually quite a pretty hat. I just feel as though, again, it's kind of a dated thing to wear now. Shall I show you it on? There's a label on there. Kind of looks a bit like that. I mean, it's not that it's offensive. It's just that if we're talking in this video about outdated things, I feel like the Baker boy hat is one of those. It's one of those items. The next, and I was torn by this because I can't figure out whether, on one hand I feel that it's dated, but on the other hand I feel that it's dated, but it's easily going to come back in style again. So if you've got these bags or this shape of bag that I'm about to talk about, don't sell them, don't get rid of them, because I definitely think these will come back round again. Without question, they will come back round. But right now I feel that they have an air of datedness about them. And I can hear you all say, some of you will be like, that's really cool. Others will be like, what is that? This is a Gucci bag that I bought years ago. £400. You could not get a bag for that money anymore, could you? £400. It's the Boston bag, bowling bag shape though. I feel as though this has not been in style for a long time. I mean, probably at least 5 years I don't feel this style has been in. And so it led me to thinking about the Louis Vuitton Speedy. And here's where I'm conflicted with it, because the Speedy is actually a classic bag. They always make it, they always will. But it's that shape. Does that shape make that bag outdated right now, but not necessarily in the future? Have a think about it. Let me know what you think. But every time I see this bag on the shelf in my bag room, I haven't used it in years, and I look at it and I think, God, that's so 2010. It feels very 2010. And now finally, tiny bags. Are tiny bags a trend that are dying out? Now, several videos ago, I know not many of you saw it because I took it down, but very much like back in August, I think it was August, I did a video about this new trend that's said to be coming in for autumn winter 2022 going into 2023, and the trend is massively oversized bags. But tiny bags, are they on their way out? Now, I took that video down because I'd done research into it, and I found a bunch of pictures of, you know, some of the autumn winter 2022 runway, some just off Pinterest that have been shared, and I put together this video just saying, what do you think of this trend? Do you like it or do you not? And I took it down because some of the pictures, when I actually had a closer look, some of the pictures looked like they might have been doctored a bit in Photoshop, but then others were ridiculously large, and when I looked them up, they actually were available to buy online. So I was kind of, I didn't want to do that video and cause a stir about bags that were just photoshopped and ridiculous, which is why I took it down. But at the same time, a lot of those bags were not gags, they were for real. They were, you can buy them. And it makes me, that's another reason why I'm thinking the tiny bag trend might be on its way out if large bags are the new thing. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. You know, this is a democracy. I love to get your thoughts on this. If there is anything that you think that I have missed, that you think, oh my gosh, do you remember this? You know, that was really hyped and now it's died a death, please leave those below. Equally, if you disagree with anything I've said, I would love to get your feedback. I love your constructive criticism, so don't feel that you can't have a say on this topic of video. Of course you can. So thank you again, and I will now go and talk to you in the comments. Thank you for watching.